Randy Grimes, former Baylor All-American. You got enough? And what happened to your foot?
Corrective surgery.
Oh, so it's a good thing.
No,
She got a bike?
Huh?
Oh, she needs.
yeah.
Garrett can hook her up.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Hook her up there. Hey,
Randy, don't say corrective surgery. Say kicking ass.
hey, I hurt this ankle so many times, and I'm just now getting it fixed. But you know what it was? I got my knees replaced. And when they replaced my knees, my legs used to be so bowed that it screwed up my ankle because my legs are so straight now. And the way the bone comes into the ankle screwed it all up, so it hurt.
When did you have that?
Well, I had the knees done last summer. I had this done 7 weeks ago.
Yeah, I can see with your legs, it's like more torque on your ankles. And
Yeah, well, my heel bone wasn't even in line with my legs. You know, everything was out of whack.
we saw you, and I've known you. My God, you played at Lee High School and then went on to play at Baylor. But the first time you ever came to Radio Row, and what you're doing now, athletes in recovery and all of that, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good to see you
Good
again
to
today.
see
You
you
too. I remember the first time I saw you, and I was like, man, I hope he's doing okay. Because at the time, you probably weren't doing okay. You were starting to turn the corner.
Just kind of starting this whole
You're a
journey.
veteran to this now.
16 years.
Has it been 16
straight, yeah. I think I've seen you nearly every year, right?
Yeah, every year. Only one year was, I think, 2009. I went to the game, but I wasn't here.
Did you go to the COVID?
Yeah, we did.
In Tampa.
Yeah, we did.
Remember what a ghost town that was?
Yeah, we do.
Hey, we got detained for about 40 minutes.
In Tampa?
In Tampa, we were walking out, and this guy comes up, and he flashes a badge, and he goes, hey, we have a report about two guys matching your description. We thought we were getting pranked or something. And then he's like, no, I mean, this is an FBI guy. And he's
matching description for what?
I
What do
don't
you think
know.
y'all did?
Something happened.
Do we look like we're going to do anything?
So
I
we were
mean,
like,
It was illegally selling candles.
yeah,
so.
or giving them away.
Yeah,
so it was
go give
fraudulent.
them away.
We didn't have a permit. You know, Florida, you're from there. You know it is. It can get shady real fast.
Oh, yeah.
I remember thinking, like, this is it. This is one of the stories they tell.
They're never going to hear from us again.
There's going to be somebody with a mask that looks like me. This is Mission Impossible. I don't know.
It is crazy, and the impact that he's had and what you're having now on players and pills and pain and management and all of that, and what you've been through.
And I couldn't do what I do without Heather and her facility at Serenity Light down in Houston. I mean, it's miracle stuff.
So you see a lot of people that come into your facility that need help, like big-time help, and
Absolutely.
addictions and painkillers. A lot of people think about drugs, and, of course, that's it too, alcohol, but the pills are sometimes it gets overlooked in a lot of this stuff.
It does, because it's prescribed, so it's okay, right? And I even have, teachers and nurses saying, I was prescribed this medication and I can't get off without getting sick. So it's walking them through it, but the guilt and shame that is pressed on every single person that comes through there, it's just a shame because people are dying because of it. And the fentanyl crisis, because of the pills, right, the opiates that you get prescribed and then you can't get them, so you end up getting them on the streets, or a friend wants to. So many people are dying because fentanyl is pressed in almost everything. So the Xanax, the opiates on the street, even the stimulants,
cocaine,
like everything. And so we're trying to battle against that as well.
So, what strides have you seen, like in the field? Because I know that like there was, especially in Florida, I know that like it was a big problem of like people would go into rehab clinics and they were basically just like charging them for drug tests over and over again and not really helping them. But for people to get help, to get better, what are the strides that have happened that you've seen?
Yes, well, that is one of the reasons why I wanted to create Serenity Light Recovery, because I suffered through addiction. I found the grace of recovery. But I was seeing so many of my friends and family were dying because of this disease, and going to treatment centers that, will just leave it at that. And it just upset me. So the revolving door needs to end, right? The cookie cutter does not work. We really need to think outside the box and really meet the individual truly where they're at, and wellness is key. So we're a wellness center. It removes that guilt and shame, first of all. Nobody wants to go to a rehab, but let's talk about wellness and really healing from the inside out, and then being able to customize it. So there's the holistic approach to healing, which is huge, right? There's so many evolving treatment methods and modalities that can be incorporated, and you don't have to charge an arm and a leg, right? There's ways to provide accessible, affordable care for individuals to truly heal. I would love for them to come back and see me as an alumni and help and volunteer and spread the message of hope. I don't need the revolving door. That's not part of my business plan. This is a mission beyond that. And it's really creating that aftercare portion, right? And continuing that wellness, the wellness maintenance plan,
See, that's why I need her.
No, yeah, smart man, smart man, and you needed her in many, many ways. You've told your story. We've told the story for the 16 years you've been on. You were at rock bottom, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Well, is it true, and this is only from knowing people who are friends or family, that if you have an addiction, even if it's cigarette smoking, I know we're talking about that's still hard, or alcoholism or whatever.
Nicotine's the worst.
Nicotine. What is the percentage of people who are basically almost shoved into a rehab center, and how many survive or get better, and those who walk in the door because they down deep inside know they're screwed right now?
Yeah, I would have to say the people that voluntarily walk in probably have a lot better chance of making it. But a lot of times the miracle will happen while they're in treatment. They'll hear that one sentence or meet that one person, and that's all you can hope for. And I went to 2 or 3 different facilities before I got it too. But a lot of times it happens while you're in treatment.
What was it, if you don't mind me, let's say the third time, whatever number it was, what made you go
accountability back? I was more accountable to everybody when I got out of there, and that was something that I didn't do the first 2 times, and that made all the difference in the world. And I kept up with it every day. I stayed accountable. I wanted people to see my eyes and hear my voice every day, and that was the difference.
So damn proud of you.
You give me too much credit. You give me too much credit.
Yeah. No, I don't. No, I don't. You came walking into this, and this is the term I've used, and this is like Gangs of New York, the movie.
You're right.
It's busier.
Bunch of heathens in
there.
there.
They're damn right. The 2 right here. Look at them right here. I got 3 of them with me. But, you walked in when it wasn't quite cool to talk about
right.
it. I'm not sure. It's now, there's a lot of people telling stories about this.
Right. And I can remember sitting at the Miami Super Bowl with Conrad Dobler. He had just got his 20th-something knee replacement and had an infection. He didn't even have a knee joint in there because they were trying to let it heal. And I can remember thinking, and I'd just gotten out of treatment, I can remember thinking, do I have the courage to tell this story? And I did it that day, and it's been off to the races ever since.
Yeah, and part of it, I like what you say about wellness or all that. I think a lot of, people think I'm going to be sitting in a circle and telling all these different things, and they think of it as what they see on TV and in movies, and they're like, well, I'm not doing that. There's no way that's going to work for me. That wouldn't work for me if I was just sad for a day. I'm not going to tell my problems. Right. If I've got baked in trauma, I don't want to sit in a group of people and do that.
And it's not an acute setting. It's not a hospital setting at all. Especially her property's beautiful. 10 acres. A big. How do you describe it? Big Georgian style.
Well, it was 1895 hotel.
Okay.
A lot of history.
Beautiful
and
property.
Then it was a bed and breakfast, and there's a wellness center. We have private suites. We have a variety, because we're all different, but we're all recovering from something, and we all deserve wellness.
Look, if I went in, to somewhere and I have a knee problem and you have a shoulder problem, you're not just going to cut me the same way, right? It's the same way with treatment, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. One size does not fit all.
Yeah. So, Randy, your Baylor Bears this year had a hell of a run at the end of the year.
Yeah, what do you think about some of the coaching changes they made?
Worked out.
Yeah. We said this, that after they won in 21, beat Mississippi in the Sugar Bowl, I think most of us agree, they screwed up by not taking advantage of that momentum when it comes to NIL and the transfer portal. They kind of, Aranda said they want to let the younger guys, like the days of old, let the younger guys take over for those who move on to the NFL or graduate. And they kind of let a 18-month period just sit there.
But will they ever compete in the NIL?
They're
with
doing
other
pretty good.
schools.
Hey,
Now I
well,
don't know
they're
about,
pretty good.
but I'm telling you right now, they got this place called GXG. They have an NIL general manager on campus now in the athletic department.
Yeah.
Man,
So
they
they're
need to, yeah.
they're coming in pretty
You know,
strong.
the sad part about all that is that you can't build dynasties anymore like Alabama, Saban years. You know, those days are over. These coaches are recruiting for a one-year run at something, national title or whatever. And then it's starting over again. And that's the way it's going to be every year, starting over every year. Because with the transfer portal going on, guys are leaving. They're taking better deals. They're taking pay cuts if they go to the NFL.
There some are. There
I know.
absolutely are. You played the game when it was as innocent as it ever was.
Yeah, when
at
I
Baylor.
got $25 a month for a wash. Yeah.
I'm
That's
calling
the
the
same thing.
I'm calling the NCAA
That's
right
the
now.
same thing. Mac Brown told
Yep.
us a couple weeks ago
Yep.
that they had $15 a month when he was there.
Oh, yeah.
For laundry money.
Yeah.
And I asked him if they paid it, that they just gave you a big bag of quarters. And he said, no, that was.
I had a quarter that was on a string, so I never lost my quarter.
Kid, are we teaching young? It sounds like get off my lawn. For me, and I've kind of accepted where we are. But are we able? Are young people, athletes, or just young people learning how to get through adversity? They just quit and go somewhere else.
Don't get me started on these young athletes now. They're so entitled. And it starts in high school. Coaches, the way they treat them, the way their parents treat them. Sports go year-round. They pay all this money for club ball, and they travel all over the United States with them. And the athletes today are just different. They're not multi-sports. Like, I played baseball and I threw the discus and shot put in high school just to have something else to do in the off season. They don't do that anymore.
Well, you can use, I had one of my godsons was an outstanding baseball player. And then because of the way the culture was, he got, into the year-long thing. He got to his senior year, and he's like, I just want to play football, man.
Yeah,
He's like, I'm having fun playing football. Baseball is just not fun to me. I like having an off season. I like doing something different. And he lost his love of the game. And when he was little, you could throw it on a baseball card, and he would be like, oh, that guy. And then, he just didn't want to see it anymore.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart, but he fell into the burnout. I loved the other seasons because, one, that coach that was yelling at me, I get another one. We get a break from each other.
He's just yelling at me for something else now.
Yeah, no, we get a break from each other and we move on. I
Yeah.
think that's an important thing that we miss today. And
Well, I think it makes you a better athlete, too.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a multi-sports, player.
Yeah, there was a parent at John Tyler that ended up playing basketball at the Citadel. And they had so much pressure on them to go to all those summer camps and some of those tournaments, and they spent so much money. And they asked me one time, I was like, listen, I don't know. But I think if they're good, they're going to find you whether you went to camps or not. But your fear of losing out on a scholarship. And he ended up playing basketball at the Citadel from John Tyler, and he was really good at it, too.
Why is Patrick Mahomes the best quarterback in football? Because he only played football?
No, he played it all, man.
He played everything,
right.
yeah. Baseball and basketball
And
everything.
recruiting's changed so much. We should have coaches come and watch practice, sitting on the sideline watching practice. Now it's all about how can you keep your social media up and attract coaches to come to you to watch your highlight, what you've put on Huddle or one of these apps. How have you marketed yourself?
What would you do if your son was playing football, sports, or whatever? How would you handle him?
Well, I'd have to do all the things you have to do with social media, and there's so many apps out there that coaches follow, and you got to tag them. You got to tag them on Twitter. You got to play the game.
Yep.
But what you said earlier is true. If you're good enough, they're going to find you.
They're going to find you. No matter if you play at Big Sandy High School, David Overstreet, or if you play at a big school like Allen with 7,000 students, they're going to find you.
Right.
What is it like when someone, and it's a daily battle, but what's it like for you when somebody wins and they get past the problems and the addiction and the agony and the pain?
Well, you know, the individuals that we work with, the story starts way before they even show up. So for them to actually show up and make it, because not all of them do. We'll talk to them, we'll even pre-screen, and then they overdose before. And it's heart-shattering. So when they show up, I celebrate. It's like, this is a huge step, right? And let's celebrate every single day of the new life. And we have some great alumni doing some big things. You know, one started a coaching academy in the UK, right? And just global, bringing recovery global. And I think that is the ultimate success. And then this guy, I mean, Randy is such an inspiration to be able to. And I told, you know, it's like long ago, he was bold and brave to be able to stand up in this audience and say, look, this is what happened, and you don't have to suffer anymore. You can get well. And that was my message back then. And so when we met, it was like, yes, we have a mission together, you know, to bring awareness and bring healing to everyone that needs it.
You almost seem like you're first of all, you're very humble, but you almost seem like you're embarrassed by that.
Well, I know that, you know, a lot of people didn't make it. And it's only by the grace of God that I did. And, you know, I don't discount that. And I'm very thankful not only to my wife and my family for not giving up on me, but, you know, having a strong community like, you know, my recovery. You know, people ask me all the time what I miss most about football, and it's not the game. I miss the locker room. And that's what recovery has given me back. It's my new locker room.
Addiction causes isolation. Recovery brings connection, and that's how we heal.
That's awesome. It's a great story. You can go to SerenityLightRecovery.com. Heather, thank you very much. ProAthletesInRecovery.org.
Right.
Randy, 16 years.
Yeah.
Telling this story to thousands upon thousands of people, including
I've got 16 candles at home.
You're going to take more
I've
back.
I've got 15 right now.
Say hi to Eric Horton and Tyler Candle Company if you don't mind.
Yeah.
He's not here today, but that's where they come from.
Oh, I appreciate it very much. Yeah.
Randy, Heather, thank you very much for your time and your story. This from New Orleans is 365 Sports.